Yes. I'm grateful for what I'm about to talk about today. Let me say two quick things. The first is, may this video work. StreamYard, who I stream through, live stream through StreamYard, they've been having problems all day. I was supposed to do this video over an hour ago, but I couldn't log into StreamYard. It wasn't. I went online and found out, oh wow, they're having like server problems. So hopefully this video doesn't shut off in the middle of it, because I don't stream directly to YouTube. I do it through StreamYard, right? So I was supposed to do this a little while ago. All right. I think this is day 11 of 100. The Lord has been good. I've been posting every day for the last 11 days. I'm trying to go to 100 days straight. So appreciate those of you who've been watching. I think it's funny because the people that were following me before I was posting every day used to be there on it every time I post. But now that I'm posting every day, I think they're like, man, I'm behind. I'll catch it. Normally when I post every 4 or 5 days, it's like, oh, he's got a new video up. So it's kind of funny, right? All right. Having said that, I'm glad Kdub said what he said. Kdub, let me back up. On May 23rd, I did a video called A Sober Warning. And the video was about a YouTuber who's at Kdub True, who has a channel called All Things Theology. And a lot of people did videos. Now, in that video, I called it a sober warning. I didn't say what it was about. I typically don't like to put the person's name or likeness in the video because it's really, you're just doing it for likes. I mean, I think most people are doing it for that reason. I did do it for this video because this isn't a critique in the same way. This is different. I think he said something in the video, which I'm about to show you in a minute. But I did this video, and the video basically was, and tons of people did tons of videos, and you're going to hear him talk about that. About just a moral failing that he had. His church had put out a statement online, and it went viral for him, for his life. Not viral like millions of people, but viral. I did a video on it called A Sober Warning because I wanted us, I think it's many people who watch this channel know that I have a somewhat of a disdain for YouTube channels by Christians that are largely accusatory of other Christians. Even if the teaching is bad, all of it. On one level, I get it, but there's some stuff that I just don't. And I'm just going to be honest. Let me say this. On YouTube, sometimes if you qualify everything you say, then it sounds like you're not saying anything. So you don't always qualify your statements. You say things like everybody thinks, or all these people, and everyone doesn't do any. Only thing that everybody does is breathe and sin, right? That's the only thing everybody does. So you make statements though because you're trying to, have a conversation. You don't want to qualify everything. But I did it on that video. I talked about channels that accuse people. And one of the points I made was when you accuse people, you receive the condemnation of the accuser of the brethren, right? The accuser of the brethren is Satan. I see this a lot. So I did a video and I didn't use his name and stuff, and I because I didn't want to make it about him as much as I was using him as an example. In this video I did because I'm going to say some things. I want, if he sees this, I want him to be somewhat encouraged because I think he said some things. The last video I did was a life lesson from him about his moral failing. And I was really talking to largely people who make these types of channels. I'll be honest, and I can't prove this. But I don't think many of these people make these channels because they love the church. I don't think you can have because, and let me tell you why I'm saying this. And again, I don't know their heart. So this is a perception. You judge a tree by the fruit that it bears. We are allowed to do that, right? The fruit that it bears. In these videos, I rarely see a call to prayer. I see a almost like a smug, like mockery, like look how dumb their theology is. Look at this point. Even the thumbnails be like all self-righteous, right? Just all of this stuff. And it's just accusing so many people. Ruslan, a buddy of mine, I send Ruslan a video every so often of someone accusing him of being, and I'll just joke with him. I recently, a couple days ago, sent him a video like, bro, I can't talk to you anymore. And I sent him a link of a video of a guy who, and this was wild. This individual, he makes not only does he accuse people, but he names a ministry after himself. Like, I just think like such and such ministries. Jesus told the disciples, don't even call yourself teacher or all this stuff because you have one teacher. It's wild to me, but anyway. But I feel like these videos, I don't think these people really love the church, because when you watch these videos, they only go after certain people, the big names and the stuff that will draw attention, right? They're not, if you really love the church, go after people who don't, only certain people know because they're being affected by their teaching, right? So anyway, I don't think these people love the church. And I bet you, because let's be honest, it's hard for us to love everyone in our own church. People you go to church with every Sunday, everyone watching this stream right now or watching it later has people in their church they don't even know or love or know that well. So how do you love the church? All these people that you don't know, that you hope like and subscribe to your channel, that buy your merchandise. I'm not saying those things are wrong, but I just think they just present it like we love the church and we're trying to play. I just don't believe it. I don't believe that that's necessarily true, that that's the motive for these things. These people will take down people that they disagree with theologically and make it seem like they're wolves in sheep's clothing. Sometimes they can be, but I don't like these channels, to be honest. But another reason why I don't like him is because of what Kdub is about to say. We're about to watch. He did a video that released today that talked about, he wanted to give his side of the narrative. And I'm so glad he did this video. Not because he's like my friend. I did know him a little bit, but I didn't know him enough that I felt like I should reach out to him when this all happened. You know, there are other people that I'm better friends with that I would have reached out instantly, right? If something would have happened. And try to care for him and all that. And I'm glad there were some people that I know that reached out to Kdub. He didn't say their names in the video, but I know who some of those people are, and I bang with those people. As a pastor who has walked people through a lot of stuff, I was encouraged that there were some people that reached out to him. But he made a video that he released today, and he's highlighting his side of the story. And we're going to look at 3 timestamps of this video because I'm so glad he said what he said in this video. All right. Having said that, let me stop talking and let's go to the first part. Here we go.
So everything got out Friday. It's circulating. I'm getting messages. I'm getting calls. I'm getting emails. Saturday is where it really hit me. Like I said, I was already in an emotional state because I was at a funeral, and man, I'm not gonna lie, guys. I broke down. I was like crying all day Saturday. I'm not an emotional person. Again, don't feel sorry for me. I will say that over and over. I'm not a victim. I'm not innocent. I have sinned. Um, and man, it just what I guess what caught me by surprise or is was our people who I would consider friends making videos and coming to certain conclusions based on speculations and maybe their reasoning on many things that actually did not occur. That's not to downplay again that I'm innocent. I'm not. Um, but it was quite interesting to see people I considered friends, thought was friends, make videos, never reach out. Um, you know, there's a lot more that could be said about that, but again, I'm talking with that to people privately about certain things. And man, never thought I would be in this position. Never thought I would be in these shoes. Oh, let me address something too, because a lot of people have their videos titled something to the effect of "the exposer gets exposed," as if my content was dealing with like personal drama of people's lives. I largely did sermon reviews, as you guys know about that, and I tried to keep it doctrinal on what we can apply practically and things like that. And so it wasn't just trying to get on people's personal issues and um, again, I have done content like that, and in hindsight, um, probably shouldn't have. Probably should have. Um, yeah, I mean, we'll see.
All right. There are 3 things that I'm glad he said in this first segment. Here's 3 things I'm glad that Kdub said. Here's the first one. When he said, I'm paraphrasing, but like, wow, people that I thought were my friends, I thought they were friends, were making content about him, essentially judging him, running with narratives, coming up with their own. He's going to repeat this later on in the video. but essentially coming up with their own narratives, their own speculations about what happened. And he said none of them reached out to him. Let me tell you why I'm glad he said this. Well, first, I'm sad that he experienced that. I'm sad that he experienced that because it's not until you go through something that you realize who really cares about you, who really bangs with you for real. Let me tell you why I'm glad he said that in this video. Because for all of us and for the people who make these types of videos, this is the reality. If your sin, if the Lord decides to expose your sin, you're going to find out that the people that you thought were your friends are not really your friends. I'm glad he said that because one, for his own realization, because this is going to affect him going forward. But everyone who watches this video, pay attention to what he said. These people on social media platforms do not bang with you. You cannot trust these people. And again, let me back up. I'm making an assumption that he's not talking about people in his local church. He's talking about people that he's met from G3 conferences and because people who are making YouTube, they don't go to his church. I can almost know some of the people that I think he's talking about because I watched some of those videos too and was like, wow, okay. I mean, they came at him, came at him, right? I think this is the reality. This is the reality of the world. We live in a digitized society, and you think people are your friends because you do these types of things. These are people that make similar content. They make content, and all of a sudden you think people are your buddies, and you realize in the trenches, these people don't care about you for real. Like, I'm grateful that I have some YouTube subscribers, and some of the people I think genuinely like and care about me. But I'll be honest, and I genuinely like and care about some of you because you've been following me so long. I feel connected to you even though I've never seen you and we haven't met in person. But I will be honest with you, like, I don't put any stock in people on YouTube or friendships like that because none of you know me for real. When I was going through the problems, when I was going through spiritual warfare in 2023 and 2024, you would know it unless I said it, right? So I just think there's a falseness of relationships that happens because of the global sort of community, and we forget that like the real friendships are the people who know you. The people who say happy birthday on Facebook because they got a notification aren't the people who text you that know your number that say happy birthday. Things like that. Those are your real friends. And I'm sad that he experienced that, but I'm glad he said it. Be careful, especially if you make these types of like if your channel is about these types of videos, you better be careful because people don't really like you. They don't really bang with you. And the minute that the Lord decides he's going to expose what you do, you're going to find out that these people will make videos about you and benefit from your pain, which you're going to hear him say later on in this video. I'm glad he said this. What he's basically saying is a lot of this stuff is fake. It's fake. That's why I tell you all the time, do not trust me or any YouTube content creator because every single one of us have sin issues, right? We all have struggles. I'm not saying they're disqualifying struggles. But I'm saying, these people are not your friends. I don't trust none of these folks. I bang with some people. I bang with a few people that I've met online and through YouTube. But other than that, no, man. No, these people know. They'll find out about your life and make a video about it. Why? Not because they care about the church, because they want to get likes and subscribers. And this is the pain that he's feeling. So I'm sad that he's feeling it, but I'm glad he's saying it. Warning. This is a warning. This video is a warning to all the people who have accusatory channels. You better hope that your life is better than what you're accusing. Because if the Lord decides to reveal that, all of us are going to see it. And all the people that you thought were your homies, that loved your content, that were dapping you up, are now making videos about your situation. I feel bad that he's experiencing it, but I'm glad he's saying that. Shouts to Kdub. I appreciate that because that's the real. That's the real. These people, a lot of these people are fraudulent. They do not care about you. You know, this is why I don't get bent out of shape on YouTube or the comments. I did a video the other day about atheism, and all these atheists were in the chat going in. And one of them was like, oh, he's really affected, or he's this and that. And they don't realize, like, fam, and I'm not saying this to be arrogant. I'm just trying to represent who I am accurately. Like, these people think, like, look, you're the one taking the time to write this long thing on you. When I get it, I type on my phone, fam. Look how big my thumbs are, fam. I'm not trying to respond to like 5,000 words on YouTube on my phone. I got to go back and autocorrect and always, then I got to read it in small print. It's not even that serious. These people are, oh, he's this and that. These people don't know you from Adam. They take something you're saying. You might be passionate, you might be whatever, and they try to judge your character. It's like, listen, I respect a lot of the people who follow me based on the chat and how they get down. But you all don't know me for real. I don't live and hang on the words of all these people. I don't care what you say in the chat if you disagree. Like, I'm not going to sit here and cry about it because I'm not worried about that. And I think that that's all of us should be like that. But let's go to the second thing he said. I'm really glad he said this. Let's go here. He said this later on. It's very quick, but this makes it a good point. Listen to this.
Nobody looks saved, right? Nobody looks like a Christian in their worst moment. But I'm hoping to get back in a church, because I know people. I left the faith. I haven't given up on Christ. I'm still reading my Bible. I'm praying. Still seeking the Lord. I do have anxiety right now about being in a church because of, your mind is thinking about, oh, who's going to know, and they're going to judge you. And again, I'm battling what I know versus what I feel right now when it comes to getting in a church. Right, I know the theology of, oh, well, we all fall short of it. We all sin and fall short of the glory. But your mind feels like you've done the worst thing ever, right? In light of the videos, you start to believe some of these things, and so.
Man, oh man, I love it. I love it. Remember the Old Testament where God asked David, "Do you want David's sins?" I think was it the census? Maybe it was the census. And God asked him, do you want to be judged by man or God? He said, let me be judged by God. I don't want to be judged by men at all. I don't want to be judged by men. David chose to be judged by God, right? Because he said God at least will be righteous and just. Man is not that way. Man, I'm so glad he just said what he said. First of all, when he said this, he started that little clip off when he said, any Christian, if the Lord shines the light on your worst day or your worst decisions, everyone will look like a non-Christian. And this is why I struggle with channels that largely accuse other people. You have a luxury because your sin isn't being exposed. Listen, there is no one who exposes false teachers or the sins of other people who does not have some false living themselves. It's just you can't do it. You just you are not Paul or Jesus. I just think all of us, if the Lord said, you know what, I'm gonna let this get out there in the social media sphere, it's a reality. That's the truth. Like all of us. That's what I'm saying. Like, man, I think some of us stop supporting these videos. Because these people this is my problem. We pride ourselves like we're better than other people because I don't believe that. But okay, that person may, but you don't even know their life enough to know that they might love their children better than you. They might love their children better than you. They might have a better marriage than you. They might be wrong in this. They might struggle with this, but they're better than you in this. Better than you. It's just like they're godlier than you in these things. It's like, whoa, fam, chill out. Like, and the reason why I'm saying is because many of us who watch those channels, we take up the character of what the content, right? Oh my gosh, we'd be like self-righteously judging people. So I love that he said that, but then I also love that he said, look, the word is I've left the church. I'm not a Christian. He said, nah, man. Yes, that's the Kdub. He said, nah, man, I'm still believing this thing. Yes, I'm in some trouble. We're going through it, but I believe that I'm reading my Bible. I'm trusting the Lord. Like, this is what I'm talking about. I hope all those people who like made money from him, put this, make a video and highlight that? Did you say, hey, I need to apologize because I said he walked away from the faith and was living in adulterous? I don't think I said that in my video, but if I did, I can't remember because I do these videos on the fly. I do them live. I don't have a script most times. I just record and go. Kdub, I want to publicly ask you for forgiveness if I said anything in my video to the effect that gave the impression to anyone who likes what I say that you were left the faith and all that. I don't think I said that, but if I did, I'm asking for forgiveness right now, bro, because it's easy to read these to hear these things and then fall victim to them. I just know I'm glad you are still in the faith, bro, and you fighting because all of us, man. David was a man after God's own heart. God told Samuel that before David committed adultery and had the man killed. Do you know the David and Bathsheba story? You know the craziest part of that whole story? Do you know that at least to me, the craziest part of the David and Bathsheba story, you know what that part was? Was when David sent Uriah to Joab with a letter, and he gave it to Uriah. He gave it to Uriah, Bathsheba's husband, whose wife he slept with. He gave it to Uriah to give to Joab, and the letter was saying to Joab, have Uriah murdered. David gave Uriah a letter that was saying, kill the man who's holding this letter. He probably thought, hey man, I'm doing something grateful for the king. I'm taking an important message to the general for the king. And the message was, kill the messenger. That was the craziest part of that whole story to me, is that he gave Uriah. There was nobody else with Uriah that could carry that joint. You gave the man who, anyway, I'm glad that Kdub is still rocking with the Lord. The last thing I'm also glad he said is just the impact. This is, we don't treat people like they're human beings, fam. We just make videos about them and we just show up. He's saying, man, I'm anxious. I'm nervous about going to a church because there were so many videos made about him that he doesn't know if he goes into a church, will people be like, that's him. That's the guy that they did. He did this. And so he's struggling with anxiety. This is the impact. Now, here's what I would say to Kdub. Take how you're feeling right now and think about how some of the people who you expose might feel when they find out about your videos and other videos. They might feel the same way. That's why I would say, man, listen, we got to be careful. If you're going to make those videos, here's what I would challenge you to do. Every couple of videos, 3 to 5, do a video about an area that God's revealing to you where you failed. Do every couple videos, do a video. Hey, we're going to do a video where we're just going to pray for the people whom we're calling out. Don't be like, well, Paul didn't do that. You ain't Paul, fam. You ain't Paul. Paul was calling out personal things. He wasn't just calling out. Paul kept it general. Wolves in sheep clothing will rise among you. When he talked about Alexander the blacksmith and Hymenaeus, those were people that did actual harm to Paul that he's warning Timothy about. He didn't say nothing to them in Corinth and in Colossians, and he wasn't going around saying, hey, he told Timothy, watch out for these folks, right? And then he had a direct charge from God to warn the church and do that. These people don't have no direct charge from God. They have a direct charge to have a ministry. Some of these people aren't even qualified to hold the offering plate in their churches, but they will tell you who else is wrong and why they're not a real Christian and all this stuff. And it's just like, fam, may the Lord have mercy on us all. All. Because I guarantee those people do not spend 10, 12 hours a day in the word on their face. They do not spend more time doing things that to be with the Lord than they do for the Lord. But all of us, listen, you know how many people, some of you watching right now, struggle with reading, praying, resisting sin. All of us do on some level, right? All of us do, right? But do you know, I've never heard a Christian say, you know what, I just don't have a desire to pray. I don't like reading. I don't like praying. But I also don't want God to bless me. I don't want him to protect me from suffering. I don't want him to do none of that. No one ever says that. Everyone always expects God to still bless them, answer their prayers, provide for them, keep them from suffering, all of that, but yet you don't want to spend an hour a day with the God that you're expecting to do all these things from. When Jesus said, whoever's been forgiven much loves much, let me make this clear. Every Christian has been forgiven much. And so, warning to those who make these videos, you might feel like Kdub one day. Be careful. Be careful if your ministry is built on this foundation. Be careful, because all of us are worthy of the wrath of God. All of us. When you stand before God and think, well, Lord, I thought I was going to, he could easily be like, you know what? Let's take your righteousness versus your unrighteousness and let that decide. It's a wrap. It's a wrap. All right. Last video. Last timestamp that Kdub said. And I really banged with him saying this too. I just enjoyed, as a matter of fact, I'm just going to let it play from where I stopped it and go for about another minute or two. I really appreciate him saying this. All right. So here's Kdub, and this is the last part we're going to talk about.
I don't want to be a part of Away from the Church. I don't. I still want to read my Bible, and I have been doing those things. So I do want to give that update and share that, despite what many may think. Ultimately, at the end of the day, I have to still run the race, despite the YouTube comments. Again, I had deleted social media off my phone. I don't have it on my phone to this day. I deleted, I just got YouTube back, but I don't have Twitter, Facebook, anything like that. I deleted off my phone like after the first 3 days of torturing myself. In hindsight, was not the best thing. Reading the comments, I was like, I gotta stay off. I gotta stay off because it's eating me up. Right, you're reading comments and people saying whatever they say. Again, I'm not even mad at people, but I just had to get off from my own mental health, get off social media. And so I just now got YouTube and kind of see I'm not, every time I refresh my screen, I'm not on the first page. That was crazy, right? But it's news, it's breaking news. I had news site articles, major news site articles. If I told them, you would definitely know, reaching out for a statement. And I feel like from people who know me, I'm not speaking about people who don't know me, right? But people who know me, who know how to get in contact, they know if they message me, I will respond. I feel like a lot of people profited off my pain, off my sin too. Let's say that, because that's what a lot of it is too. But yeah, man, I'm just trying to navigate through all this. That's where I'm at right now.
I'm glad he said it. He said a lot of people are trying to profit off of my pain. He said that's what it is, profit off of my sin. Thank you, Kdub. This is why I appreciate him saying that, because he's a person that I think has done that. He's profited off of other people's pain, other people's ignorance, other people's arrogance. He built a channel doing that, right? I remember his channel wasn't always like that, but then it became that. He's profiting. And and the reason why I'm glad he's saying this, because one, I think he's showing, not that he was such a megastar that he's not human, but I think he's showing that humanity, the human side of it. We don't usually hear from the people, and it's not usually genuine. This was a genuine video. Bang with this video. Genuine video of someone who was legitimately hurt by it. Legitimately hurt by it. Some of these people, they get on and apologize and be preaching the next day or doing whatever. But he's genuine in this video. I hope you see his genuineness in this video. I bang with that. But the other reason why I'm glad that this has happened, this is more now for him. What I'm about to say is more for him and for people who do these videos. I'm glad that he's saying this, because this is what Jesus says in Matthew 7. And I'm going to end with this. Judge not that you not be judged. For with the judgment you pronounce, you will be judged, and with the measure you use, it will be measured to you. Why do you see the speck that is in your brother's eye, but do not notice the log that is in your own eye? Or how can you say to your brother, let me take the speck out of your eye, when there is a log in your own eye? You hypocrite, first take the log out of your own eye, and then you will clearly see. You will see clearly to take the speck out of your brother's eye. I think we sleep on words of Jesus that say stuff like this. We let the world be like, oh, judge ye not. Why does everybody quote the King James? Don't nobody speaking that language no more. Judge ye not. It sounds like more biblical or something. No, it doesn't. It sounds like you from a small town in Nottingham, Ireland or something. But like, the reality is like, look, Jesus said it clear. The measure you judge, right? He said, the measure you use will be measured to you. This is what I think happened to Kdub. This is what I think happened. I think the measure in which he judged others, the tone of the videos, I think the Lord said, let me show you what it feels like, my son. But he didn't do it because Kdub is a self-righteous, hypocritical dude. He did it because Kdub is his son. His son. And this is why I bang with what he said in this video. He's not running from the reality of what he said. Now, in the video, he acknowledges, here's what I did do wrong. What you've heard is not all what I did wrong. He's not, and I agree with him. I'm not going to take credit for what people think I did. So I appreciate him. But he also is realizing I'm still a son, and this is Hebrews 12 now. This is Hebrews 12. For God disciplines those he loves as sons. He loves Kdub as a son and exposed this not because of his ministry or because he's done with him. He exposed it to help Kdub realize, hey, I need to chill out. I need to deal with my own heart. And I'm telling you, every one of us who make Christian content videos, we all have junk that the Lord wants us to deal with. Just because our faith is in Jesus and we have a declared righteousness of God doesn't mean we're displaying that righteousness as well as we should. So I appreciate this video. Shouts to Kdub. And I hope everyone who judged him reaches out to him, like all the friends that he thought were his friends. I hope they hit him and be like, bro, my bad. And then they go on their things and they publicly ask for forgiveness. But if they don't, just keep in mind, the Lord may expose you. These people are not your real friends, fam. Social media, I'm doing a video tomorrow that's going to be crazy, that's going to tie all this in, but it's in a different way. Oh my gosh. I don't even know if I should do this video tomorrow. But I'm going to tie this all in tomorrow. How did we get to this point? How did we get to the point where, again, even before social media, you could think people were your friends and they weren't. But we are headed in a crazy direction, and I want to talk about how we got there, right? Shouts to Kdub. Again, brother, if I said in my first video anything that was not true of you, or I tried to make it about, but I can't remember because, again, I just shoot from the hip. I'm not like as polished as some of these other dudes. They make videos and cut them up and have a team. I used to joke with rules on, man, I don't got no team to do all that stuff. I just press live and I just go. And I'm so used to talking, I can just go. So if I said anything again, brother, I'm asking for forgiveness. I'm not apologizing. Apologies are for accidents. Forgiveness is a moral failing. If I did say something in my video that was not true or that painted a moral failing of you that wasn't true, please forgive me, bro. Please forgive me. I appreciate you. May the Lord continue to strengthen you. And shouts to the people that are helping him, that have extended a helping hand. Some of those people I know, appreciate you. Appreciate y'all. Like and subscribe to the channel. I will see you tomorrow with a crazy video that will pivot some off of what was talked about today. All right? Grace and peace.